How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new story. Today we have a story of another spoiled kid who does something absolutely crazy. This is another one of those stories of those spoiled kids who are just so ridiculous that you just can't help but just sit there and think, wow, these people really populate the earth with us. That's freaking crazy, bro. So with that all being said, leave a like in the video to claim your free nothing, and let's just jump right into it. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted the story Adrian. And so there was a new kid who was moving into the neighborhood, and the new kid's mom reached out to a bunch of other kids' moms in the neighborhood because she was added to a neighborhood Facebook group or something. I don't know what moms do. I also don't know how Facebook works. I don't know much about either. But yeah, so the mom must have reached out to Adrian's mom and said, hey, I got a son that's your son's age. Or probably asked, if she has a son, how old her son is. And then, oh, my son's your age as well. So they got an invitation over. It was, this was all happening over the summer. I think the plan was that, the spoiled kid, or who they didn't know was the spoiled kid, but we're going to call the spoiled kid, right? The spoiled kid just got there, and the spoiled kid's mom is like, well, I want to make sure my son has friends as he goes into school. Obviously, I think all moms want that, right? So anyways, Adrian on one Friday night is driving over with his mom, and they're driving to a part of the neighborhood that they had never been to. I think Adrian would pass by it every once in a while, but it was like one of those gated communities, so you'd look inside the gates and you'd be like, dang, those are some nice houses, I guess. But this time, they were given the access code or whatever. Apparently, in this gated community, they would change the access code every single day. And, if you had a guest, you just give them the right access code. And people who had, lived there, had accounts you could log in. That's unnecessary details, right? So they get the access code, they go to the door, they type it in or whatever, the gate opens up, and they go through. And Adrian is just stunned that houses like the houses he's seeing exist in the neighborhood with him, right? He's like, that's ridiculous. That's crazy. He passes by houses that are 3 to 4 times as expensive as his, and he doesn't have a inexpensive house necessarily. At least it's a very normal, very kind of standard American middle class suburbs type house. But he's going through these mini mansion type houses. However, it only gets crazier because the spoiled kid doesn't live here. The spoiled kid lives at the very end of this gated community. And it was almost as if the houses became more and more extravagant the farther you went down. Maybe it wasn't as if. Maybe it just simply was that the houses got more and more extravagant the farther you went down. But anyways, Adrian starts to say stuff to his mom wow, I've never seen any place like this. And Adrian's mom was very quick to be like, hey, make sure you don't say anything about it to the spoiled kid. Yeah, apparently, his parents do pretty well, but, it's pretty awkward and it's pretty rude to say anything about money right away. Little does Adrian know that the spoiled kid probably needs to learn this lesson himself. But anyways, they eventually make it to the kind of end of the driveway in a sense, and Adrian's mom's like, oh, well, there it is, 722 Plain Street or whatever. I don't freaking know. I'm not going to actually give it an actual address, but yeah, so Adrian is just looking at this house. And it is the most ridiculous thing he's ever seen. It's got 3-4 stories. It's massive. It has a massive driveway with a big old car garage. It's got a huge pool in the back that you can see spilling out. It's got a crazy... It is the most ridiculous house you've ever seen. Sure, it's not one of those Hollywood mega mansion $20 million houses, but it's the equivalent for a not normal person, but for a non-celebrity type person. This is definitely a house that a CEO of a really big company would live in, right? So Adrian was immediately pretty floored. And his mom's like, hey, man, remember what I said. Don't say anything about it. It's rude. Let's just go in there. Let's meet the kid. So they walk up to the front house. Yeah, they walk up to it. It's not as if they get out of the car and go to the front door. They legitimately walk up this big winding trail to eventually get to the front door. They knock on it. They wait a second. You hear the barking of 2 dogs or whatever. The door opens up, and it seems to be the spoiled kid's mom. It's like, oh, says the name of Adrian's mom. Oh, so good to meet you. They give the very fake mom hug. I think you guys know what I mean. And then she looks down at Adrian and is like, oh, you must be your mom's son. She says it, okay, she's using names, and the way I'm saying it is weird, but you know what I mean. You must be Kathy's son. Let's say her name's Kathy, right? And he's like, yes, my name's Adrian. Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me today. And she's like, oh, thanks for coming. I know, spoiled kid. He's just really nervous about not making friends. So I'm sure he's so excited right now to meet you. She yells up, spoiled kid, your friend is here. And then you hear, Mom, I'm playing Fortnite. Go away. And you can see the spoiled kid's mom. Her face just goes like very freaked out for a second. And then she like almost like internally calms herself down. And it's like, oh, he's funny sometimes. He's such a little prankster. And like Adrian looks up his mom and Adrian's mom looks down at him because they're kind of exchanging a look of like, that definitely wasn't no prank, bro. Like, let's be real. This kid is already a menace. Like, I can already tell. So they walk into the house, and when Adrian walks into the house, it is like, once again, I mean, this is not a surprise at this point, as he's seen how extravagant the front of the house is, and probably, presumably, the back is. But once he enters the house, it meets expectations of being the craziest thing he's ever seen. The most ornate, decorated inside of a house he's ever been in. It's something that you'd see in one of those like celebrity or those crazy house magazines that's like, look at this person who's richer than you. You will never make this on your salary. It's like one of those type of magazines, right? That I kind of question the point of them existing. But yeah, so he walks up and or he walks like in and the spoiled kid's mom says, oh, spoiled kid's room is just up the stairs. And yeah, you're going to take a left and then you'll probably figure out where it is. So Adrian walks up the stairs and he's kind of hearing very faintly and then louder and louder as he approaches, kind of like Fortnite gaming noises, right? You know, shooting, building. I didn't play a lot of Fortnite, so my analogies will be a little bit off. But anyways, so he goes up the stairs and he gets closer and closer to a room that, you know, presumably is a spoiled kid's room. He knocks on it, and the spoiled kid says, it's just grunts. The spoiled kid's like, okay, don't make that weird, bro. But anyways, he just kind of makes like a weird grunt sound instead of actually responding. But, you know, Adrian wasn't going to wait outside forever, and he also knew for a fact that this was the spoiled kid's room. So he walks into the room, and he sees the spoiled kid behind this massive monitor, right? This very big, massive monitor. You would have thought that this guy was like an investment banker at like JP Morgan Chase or something by the size of these dual screen monitors. You would have thought that this guy was like some quantitative analysis guy working at a quant fund or something like that. You would have thought that this guy was getting paid $600,000 a year to do math models at 2 Sigma, bro. Like, this guy is just he's just building shit in Fortnite, bro. Like, you don't need this, but whatever, right? He gets into the room. And Adrian is kind of just like, he's completely blown away again, which I mean, he's kind of not blown away because he's expecting it, but he's just once again couldn't potentially expect this. Blown away by the inside of the spoiled kid's room. Just imagine anything you could ever want, multiply it by 3, and then add more stuff that you don't even know that you want in this room. And that is the spoiled kid's room plus some. This thing is the most like extravagant, like kids' dream type thing. Has the biggest gaming computer ever, huge monitors, you got the Lego Death Star, you got a huge rack of shoes or whatever, you got a big closet that's like very clearly very big, you got everything, you got the coolest light setup, you got, I don't know, charging port for his phone, iPad, literally everything possible. Like, I don't know how to explain it besides just imagine something unimaginable. That should be easy. Imagine something unimaginable, add 2 to it, multiply it by 7, and you got the spoiled kid's room. So anyways, you know, Adrian says, hey man, what's good? My name's Adrian. And the spoiled kid doesn't respond to him. He's just playing Fortnite. And he's just like, he's cranking 60s or whatever. I don't know the phrase, sorry. He's just playing a bunch of Fortnite, not paying any attention to the fact that another human being is in his room. And Adrian's kind of thinking to himself, did this kid just not hear me, or is he ignoring me? And Adrian just kind of like thinks about it for a second and says, okay, this kid definitely heard me, because it's not like he had headphones in because the noise was super loud, like everyone could hear it. And like Adrian said it loud enough that the kid definitely heard. So Adrian just sits there, or stands there, I should say, awkwardly for 5 whole minutes. And that's not like an exaggeration or saying like, oh, I stood there for 5 minutes. Legitimately 5 whole minutes of this kid just playing Fortnite. And eventually he loses. He takes his fist, boom, slams on his desk. He's like, "You're hacking!" And just like turns around, is like, "Oh, hi there." Like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot you're here. What's good? My name's Spoiled Kid." Says his actual name, but my name's Spoiled Kid. What's your name? Brat? Adrian's like, "No, it's Ed." He's like, "Okay, whatever. What's good, bro? Like, what do you like to do?" And Adrian's just like, "Oh, I'm not Brett, but whatever." He's like, "I don't know. I like to go hiking. I like the outdoors. I like, spending time with my dog. I play basketball." And the spoiled kid's like, "Okay, cool, whatever. I play golf, Fortnite, and I like driving fast cars. Next." Adrian's like, "Dude, you're like 14. How do you drive fast cars?" He's like, "When your dad has a little bit of authority, you can kind of do what you want and not worry about it." And Adrian immediately is like, "Oh my God, I definitely am not going to like this kid." And he's like, "Oh, also another thing, huge fan of shoes, big shoe guy." And Adrian's like, "Oh, cool." Adrian to himself is like, "All right, I definitely need to just come up with a conversation. Like, I just need to come up with something." And he's like, "Okay, what kind of shoes do you like?" And the spoiled kid, like, gets off his chair, walks up to Adrian, looks down at Adrian's shoes, and is like, "Well, first of all, not those. Adrian's got, like, a standard pair of Nikes." Like, what? The very solid shoes, very whatever shoes. Spoiled kid's like, "Yeah, definitely not those, bro." Like, what? Dude, what? You get this from, like, bottom of the dumpster or something? And Adrian's like, "What? I've had these for, like, a year. Of course they're not going to be great." But he's like, "Aha, very funny, dude. Ah, you're so funny." Adrian immediately knew that him and this kid were not going to get along. But the thing is, he can't just go down and tell his mom, "Hey, this kid sucks. Sorry, Miss Spoiled Kid. Your son's the worst. We're leaving," right? Can't do that. It's bad etiquette, apparently. Not that the spoiled kid is having great etiquette either, but Adrian's like, "All right, I just got to power through this. Hopefully dinner's sick, and then we'll just dip out of here, and then I will never talk to him again." Cool, whatever. So they have a conversation, or I should say Adrian is being talked to. Conversation normally entails that it's both ways, but in this situation, it's literally just Adrian being talked to for like 20 minutes about the spoiled kid. And the spoiled kid's not even talking. He's simply just bragging. At this point, to be more specific, he's simply bragging. He's just like, "Oh, yeah, I'm pretty cool. I got like this really nice shoe collection." And by really nice, I mean super sweet. "Yeah, I don't really see my dad that much." And, Adrian's like, "You're telling me?" And he's like, "Yeah, so he just kind of gives me a credit card and I can do whatever I want with it. And if he ever complains, I'm like, well, you're never here, bro. So it's either credit card or you're here." Adrian's like, "Damn, that's kind of sad." But anyways, the spoiled kid's like, "Yeah, so I've been buying all these shoes. I've been like spending a lot of money on this stuff, man. I mean, like, take a look at these Air Force, Nike, X, Gucci, whatever's." Come up with something expensive, right? He's like, "Yeah, these literally cost half a band, bro." Adrian's like, "What?" He's like, $500, dummy. And Adrian's just like, "Oh, what?" And he looks at these shoes, and they're like the ugliest things he's ever seen. He's like, "Bro, what? Just got like a pair of clean Nikes, bro. What are you doing with all this?" And the kid's like, yeah, so these are limited edition. They're exclusive, small batch. I've definitely, like, when I was a couple of days ago, I was walking in the mall. So they had a mall around them that was like a fairly popular location. He's like, besides it being super grimy, like, I definitely caught a bunch of diseases from there. Am I right? Adrian's like, "Okay." He's like, "Yeah, I was walking around in these bad boys," and points to like the Nike Supreme bricks or whatever he's wearing on his feet. And he's like, "Yeah, I was like walking around in these, and like all the chicks, all the baddies, bro, were totally looking at me, and they're like, 'Whoa, I know those shoes are $500. Adrian's just like, "That's definitely not real. That's not a true story. That's not a true story, man. That's fake news." But he doesn't say that. He's like, "Oh, for real? You talking to any of them?" He's like, "No, they totally wanted it, but like, nah, I'm a pass, bro." And Adrian's just looking at this kid. In his head, he's like, "This might be the worst kid ever. Like, I thought he's going to suck, but this is just whole new levels, right? I guess this is, just whole new levels of just sucking. Wow. Okay, cool. Noted. Good to know. I will make sure to tell all my friends how I really feel about you. Anyways, yeah, so the spoiled kid goes on to talk about, shows off some other stuff in his room. He's like, oh, I got something to show you. And Adrian's like, yes. He's like, come with me. So they walk down the stairs, and they pass by the spoiled kid's mom and Adrian's mom sitting there. And Adrian's mom looks like she's having a decent time talking to the spoiled kid's mom. Like, they're just talking about mom stuff, like, the weather is nice today. I don't know what moms talk about, bro. I don't know. But anyways, they walk down, and Adrian's mom looks over and kind of gives the spoiled kid's mom looks over and gives the spoiled kid a thumbs up. The spoiled kid's like, shut up, mom. And they, they keep walking. They go out the door, and the spoiled kid is taking them around back. He's like, yeah, so I just wanted to, I thought I'd show you some cool stuff. Like, you definitely don't have access to stuff like this, so you're welcome in advance. Adrian's like, don't punch this kid in the face, bro. Hold it together. Don't drop kick him in the nuts. Just deep breaths. Zen meditation or something my mom was telling me. Just hold it together, man. Hold it together. He's like, yeah, so if you want to take a little look over here, and he goes over to the garage. Goes over, types in a pin code or whatever. He's like, you didn't see my code, right? Adrian's like, no. And the spoiled kid's like, you're totally lying. I know you're definitely going to try and lift one of these cars, but don't even try it, bro. They have trackers on all of them, and we will come and get it. Adrian's like, I wasn't going to lift your car. What are you talking about? He's like, whatever, man. Anyways, so I know this is a big opportunity for you, because you probably will never, ever have access to, look at these, let alone, even get near one ever again. Adrian's like, okay. Word, bro. Cool. And this, it's like, yeah. So you take a look over here. This is my dad's Aston Martin. Got a Mercedes C-Class. Got a, this one's not bad. This is a little sports car over here. It's not too bad. He says the name Ferrari, Bugatti. The cheaper one of the two, they're both super expensive, but you know what I mean. I think one of them's crazy, and one of them's crazy. So he's like, yeah, and there's some other stuff, but you maybe want to sit in one of these cars, and I can take a photo of you in it, so you for a second you can be like, oh man, look at me guys, I'm in this car, even though it's totally not your car and you totally will never have one. But if you want to take the photo, I will give you the opportunity, because I'm just nice like that. And Adrian is just like, oh my god, this kid's the freaking worst. Yes, you guys might be thinking this kid's pretty bad. Well, let me just say that he goes full mask off. He gets super blatant. And he actually, believe it or not, gets worse. Just literally give it a second, dude. Real quick. God, my voice is broke. Sorry. Real quick, if you made it this far into the video, comment spoiled down below. I know, it's the same word almost every time. But one of these times, I'm going to change it. And you sneaky, I'm looking at you, being all sneaky or whatever, you're going to comment spoiled in 5 minutes into the video, and it's going to be potato, and then you're going to look like an idiot. So always watch till this part of the video. I'll try to heart as many comments as I can to say spoiled, as I appreciate you guys making it this far into the video. Spotify down below, full-length videos are in there. TikTok down below, short-form videos are on there. Follow me in both those places, help the channel out. And finally, the best thing you can do, literally, is just after this video, watch another one of my videos. Binge watch or just watch a bunch of my old videos. It really does boost the channel. Easy way to do that is the Storytime playlist of all my old stories. Pin comment down below. That all being said, let's just get back to it. Not trying to waste your time. So anyways, right, the spoiled kid. Yes, the spoiled kid. You might be thinking, well, this can't be much worse. This kid sucks. You're not wrong. This kid does suck. But it does get worse. I hate to break it to you, but this kid actually finds a way to somehow get worse. And, yeah, you're about to see that. So anyways, eventually, Adrian and the kid go back upstairs. He's like, all right, well, they walk up to his room, and the spoiled kid's like, yeah, all right, I'm gonna roast some fort right now. You can, stand there or something. Just don't break anything, because I will make you pay for it. Which is bro, what? Yeah, so... This guy's just standing in his room as the spoiled kid watches him, and yeah, he's just kind of like standing there watching the kid play Fortnite. And that's when the kid's mom, the spoiled kid's mom, yells down saying, "Boys, dinner time," or whatever, they're saying, whatever, right? And the spoiled kid's like, "Mom, I'm playing Fortnite." Like, just completely taking it out on her for no good reason. And, Adrian's just standing there so awkwardly. Because it's like, yeah, my mom and I have gotten into disagreements before, but I'd never take it out. Like, I'd never do something like that. And I 100% agree with Adrian. Like, that's ridiculous. Can't be yelling at your mom like that. I really don't care what it's about, bro. Even if she's doing something a little messed up, you gotta sit down, say it politely, say it nicely. You gotta, come on. There's no other way, man. Anyways, though, so Adrian's just standing there really awkwardly because he's like, man, I can't disrespect. I'd never disrespect my mother like that. If you have to learn one thing from the Connor Pugs YouTube channel, just be nice to your parents, right? Respect them for what they've done, unless in very few situations, then there's always exceptions to rules, but generally, accept that as a rule. Generally, remember, I'm saying generally. Anyways, though, yeah, so Adrian is just standing there, and this guy, this spoiled kid, he's actually all right at Fortnite, well, because he spends all of his time playing it. So the game goes on for another 5 minutes, and the spoiled kid's mom, once again, yells up to them, being like, "Hey, your dinner's getting cold." And he's like, "Shut up, Mom! Shut up!" And, like, Adrian's just standing there so stunned, because the first time was aggressive, but this was, like, low-key out of left field aggressive. Like, this was kind of crazy aggressive, right? So, yeah, and I'm sure the spoiled kid's mom was, like, super embarrassed in front of Adrian's mom, being like, "Oh, how did you raise your son? Does he do this to you? He doesn't? Oh, that's interesting." You know what I mean? So, yeah, Adrian is standing there, and then eventually the spoiled kid loses, and he literally takes his mouse and throws it against the wall, and it, like, explodes into a million pieces. And this is definitely, like, a $100 mouse or something. And, he's like, that guy was so cheating, bro. And Adrian's like, "Oh, my God, like, do you have another mouse or something?" Spoiled kid's, "Yeah, like, I got 15. I break them all the time." And he literally walks over to a drawer, opens it up, and there's, like, 15 $100 mouses. You know that you're a spoiled kid, right? When you buy $1,500 worth of $1,500 worth of mice because you break your mouse so often that you just need to, you need to have 15 on hand at all time. Like, that's the mark of the spoiled kid right there. But it gets worse. Yep, it gets worse. So eventually, spoiled kid and Adrian walk down. And at the dinner table, there's, like, I don't know, some kind of meal in the center. And it looks really good. It's, like, a very fire meal. So, like, they're going around passing it down. And the spoiled kid's mom's like, "So, Adrian, tell me about yourself." Like, whatever, right? Adrian's like, "Yeah, my name's Adrian. I like, going outside, playing time with my dog, basketball." She's like, "Oh, spoiled kid used to do basketball in second grade with his little buddies." And the spoiled kid's like, "Yeah, I don't do it anymore because it's, like, so stupid or whatever. I'd rather play Fortnite in cars." And he's, like, literally on his phone the whole time, by the way. So for the next duration of this kind of, like, conversation, spoiled kid's on his phone. Like, he's not paying any attention, or he's paying at least half attention, right? So, yeah. Sure enough, eventually the spoiled kid's mom's like, "So, tell me a little bit about your school." The spoiled kid mutters under his breath, "Poor person school. Oh, this should be so great." Whatever. And, like, everyone heard it. Like, he didn't mutter it under his breath in a way that people didn't hear it. He muttered it under his breath in a way that everyone heard it. So, like, spoiled kid's mom, her face just goes, like, drops again. Just like, oh my God. And, Adrian's mom was kind of a little shocked because besides the first thing she ever heard the spoiled kid say that was pretty crazy was yelling at his mom, And this, she's like, okay. Adrian is, like, kind of trying to take this comment in stride, right? It's like, yeah, it's cool. A lot of good people there. Teachers are fine. School is nice enough. And the spoiled kid's like, "Bet the school sucks and it's ugly. Because all the pores are there." And Adrian looks over at him like, "Bro, we can hear you." Like, I know that we can hear you, but you're almost as acting as if, like, you're talking to some, like, audience that doesn't not hear. Like, why? And Adrian just kind of looks at him, and the spoiled kid's mom has this, like, big smile on her face, like, "Don't listen to my son. He does not represent me or my family, right? And she's like, oh, that's so great. Yeah, tell me about your school. Like, what do you guys have there? And he's like, oh, so we got, like, basketball court. What else do we have, Mom? And, Adrian's mom's like, oh, well, you guys got a park or something. Spoiled kid's like, but you guys got a crap-ass park. Lol. They're all just looking at him like, bro, shut up. And he's like, basketball court? Figures, bro. Do you guys not even have, like, golf course or something? And Adrian looks at him. It's like, bro, we do not have a golf course at our school. What? This is like high school or middle school, bro. Wait, what middle school did you go to, dude? And he's like, whatever. I'll get used to it. Everyone has to make sacrifices, I guess. And conversation goes on. More details I don't really need to give you. But at some point, right, the spoiled kid, like, turns to his mom. He's like, Mom, do I really, can you not just, like, put me in some, like, private school or something? Like, please? Or can you just, like, homeschool me so I can play Fortnite all the time? She's like, no. Your dad and I both went to our local public schools, and it was a great foundational period. We learned a lot about character. We made some of our best friends. Like, we think it's important for you. And they start having this whole conversation, right? While Adrian and his mom are awkwardly sitting at the table. And he's like, Mom, I've told you this before, but it makes me really uncomfortable when I have to sit next to people who are of a lower socioeconomic status as us. And, like, Adrian and his mom are just looking at each other like, bro, he just said that. Dude just went full mask off. Yo. Yeah, so, and, like, Adrian's mom is like, spoiled kid's mom is like, you will not speak like that when we have guests at the table. Implying that, yeah, speak like that when we don't have guests at the table. It's totally chill. We love saying stuff like that around here. That's us. That's what we claim, right? Like, what? But anyways, spoiled kid's like, Mom, you know what? You're always telling me to, like, I should express myself and I should say what I'm thinking. And she's like, I don't say, and he's like, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Adrian over here. And Adrian's like, oh, God, it's looking real poor right now. And Adrian's mom just like, her face is like, bro, what? And Adrian's low-key just laughing at this point. He's just laughing because he knows this kid's the worst. He knows this kid sucks. And he knows this kid has a long way to go to fix his character. So he's just dancing, bro. He's just laughing. He's Josh. He's goofing around right now. Like, he honestly doesn't care because it's like the funniest thing he's ever said or ever heard. Because, like, look, Adrian doesn't care. Adrian's comfortable in his life. He's happy with who he is. And he gets to watch this spoiled kid have a meltdown because he doesn't have as much money as him. Like, that's the goofiest thing ever. Plus, it makes for a great story. And Adrian's mom, or spoiled kid's mom's like, you will not speak like that to our guests. They came all the way over here, and we are grateful for them to come. Aren't we? And he's like, they should be grateful for us. I mean, look, I showed Adrian over here some really sick shoes and some really sick cars. I know for a fact that with like his money situation that he would not be ever setting foot anywhere near this car. So, like, they should be thanking us. And spoiled kid's mom's like, I do not want you at this dinner table anymore. Spoiled kid's like, good, I'll go play some Fortnite. He literally gets up, knocks over his glass on purpose, and walks upstairs. The spoiled kid's mom is just sitting there. And she's just like, I'm so sorry, right? Adrian's mom's like, it's okay. And she's like, no, it's not. Like, I don't know what's gotten into him. Maybe I should bring him on Dr. Phil because that will fix all problems and definitely not just air interpersonal, inter-family issues that don't actually get fixed just for views or whatever. But I don't know what to do. And Adrian's mom's like, well, I think you're doing the right thing by sending him to, like, public school. Like, obviously, he's going to have to learn a thing or two about life. Look, you still got a chance. Just stick with it. Look, I'm here to help if you need anything. I do think we're going to go, though. And she's like, I totally get it. So Adrian and Adrian's mom get into the car. And Adrian's like, why are you so nice to his mom at the end? And Adrian's mom is like, the spoiled kid might have been super awful, dude. But I don't know if she said dude. She's probably like, spoiled kid, I know he was the worst. But, his mom seems really nice. She just seems overwhelmed by the whole situation. And when people are struggling like that, it's always good to reach out and help them. And, at this point, what's the worst? What's the worst that can happen? Either the worst has happened and nothing changes. The best that happens is I can actually give some guidance, and the spoiled kid's mom can fix his character, because it's definitely not so great right now. And Adrian kind of agreed. And moral of the story is, I think the morals of this are so obvious, like, don't be that kid, bro. And today we have a story of one of the most entitled spoiled kids on planet Earth. This spoiled kid not only makes fun of a poor classmate to his face, but then his mom tries to sue all of his classmates for quote-unquote emotional damages because they made fun of her baby boy. Wah. Yeah, it's probably one of the craziest stories I've heard in a while. I know for a fact you'll enjoy it, so sit back, relax, subscribe if you're new, and let's just jump right into it. Also, leave a like for all the brain cells I lost reading this story. It helps out, man. But anyways, we're going to call the subscriber who submitted this story Ryan. So anyways, there's a kid in Ryan's class who we're going to call the spoiled kid. And Ryan was in 6th grade. However, Ryan was almost done with 6th grade at this point. He had about a week left. And the spoiled kid decided that, or his parents at least decided that they wanted to throw a party at their house on a Saturday where all the kids could come over and all the parents could come over as well, as kind of to say, like, congrats on, congrats on, like, getting through the 6th grade. It was a celebration, right? And at this point, Ryan and all of his friends kind of knew that the spoiled kid was, a spoiled kid, right? Kid was kind of a jerk, and kid was kind of a jerk because he was rich. That's just kind of how it goes. Not just because you're rich means you're a jerk. A lot of kids that have a lot of money, right, they're actually really good people. They don't let it change the way that they act. But you definitely know that one kid who's just super entitled and acts that way simply because he has the funds that he didn't earn. Like, even if he earned them, don't let that go to your head. But, bro, he didn't even earn the stuff that makes him go to that kind of inflates his ego. But anyways, Ryan and his friends were still kind of excited to go to a party with all their friends because they were thinking, like, first of all, the spoiled kid's house is probably pretty nice. And spoiler, they were 100% right about that. But also, like, they were going to a party with all their friends, and there's probably going to be fun things and maybe Nerf guns and a pool. So, yeah, how bad could it possibly be? Let me just say that they had no idea how bad it was about to be. So, yeah, I guess spoiler, it was bad. But anyways, Ryan and his parents show up, and they pull up to the directions. And, Ryan has never actually been to the spoiled kid's house. He expected it to be a nice house, right? He knew this kid's parents had a lot of money because the spoiled kid would never stop talking about it. But when they show up to the house, Ryan is completely flabbergasted that people live in houses like this. They had to drive to 20 minutes away from him to the gated community or whatever. This guy had 4 floors to his house. He had a massive backyard. Bro had a massive car garage. He had the coolest pool ever. And Ryan is walking in with his mom, and his mom turns to him and says, don't get any ideas here. Basically saying, what you see here is unlike anything you'll have in the real world. So chill out for a second. I'm just trying to provide for you, bro. Anyways, they get inside, and, the spoiled kid's mom was like, welcome, come on in. And you see all the parents kind of standing around talking with each other. They got their little plate of appetizers or whatever. And the spoiled kid's mom says, oh, all your classmates, all your buddies are upstairs in the spoiled kid's room. So Ryan, walks up the stairs, and he goes towards, he kind of goes in the direction of all the noise, as he's assuming that's where all the other kids are. I mean, he was right, but he walks in, and he opens the door of what he can only assume is the spoiled kid's room, and sure enough, he sees the spoiled kid sitting on his bed, and all the other kids in his grade are kind of surrounding him. They're kind of standing around as this guy's giving a talk. And the spoiled kid's like, oh, Ryan, good to see you, take a seat or whatever. And Ryan kind of stands where all the other kids are, and the spoiled kid's like, oh, where did I leave off? So yes, as you see over here, you can look into my closet. Hey, Gerald, open the closet. And this guy named Gerald's like, all right. He opens up the closet, opens it up to show all these really fancy clothes and shoes. And the spoiled kid starts pointing, that I got in Spain. That I got, on my 12th birthday that, I paid $1,000 for. I mean, I had to mow the lawn twice for that, guys. Can you believe it? And like Ryan looked at his friends. He's like, wait, for $1,000 you mowed your lawn twice? You got $500 for every time you mowed the lawn? Bro, I'm lucky if I get $5 if I mow the lawn. Nevertheless, anything, bro. Like my mom, like Ryan's like, my mom's just like, do it, bro. I'm giving you a bed. I'm giving you food. I'm driving you around. I'm nice to you. You better mow this lawn, bro. But yeah, anyways, it's kind of more of that. The spoiled kid was kind of just going on about like, oh, I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that, flex, kind of just continuing on like that. It was getting kind of boring, right? And that's when, the spoiled kid's like, oh, well, let me show you guys around back. And Ryan was kind of excited because, like, in the Evite or whatever, it said we have a pool, we have Nerf guns, like, the kids will have a lot of fun. So Ryan was getting excited because a pool and Nerf guns, like, dude, that's going to be a good time. Like, genuinely now, me and my friends are trying to set up a Nerf gun fight somewhere. Because I don't care how old you get, that stuff is so fun, dude. I used to love doing that as a kid. I actually had a Nerf gun birthday party once. It was pretty cool. Like, I walked around and, like, some of my friends were, like, my bodyguards or whatever since I was the birthday guy. And there would be, like, one assassin friend trying to get... It was fire, bro, I swear. Anyways, though, yeah, so they walk outside, and the spoiled kid is like showing them around, and there is a pile of Nerf guns, but instead of walking towards the pile of Nerf guns, the spoiled kid draws them away somewhere else, and Ryan's kind of thinking, oh, I guess we're just gonna like get a tour first, and then we'll go to the Nerf guns. And the spoiled kid is bringing them towards this shed, and I don't know, Ryan's kind of just like, why are we going towards this shed, dude? Like, I don't know why we're going to a shed. Like, you're gonna show me your gardening tools? Are you gonna show me your rake collection? You're going to show me your bag of leaves that you collect, or someone else collected. You definitely didn't collect them. But they get there. The spoiled kid opens up the garage door. And is like, witness the glory. So the spoiled kid opens up the garage door, and sure enough, there are 4 cars in there. And these aren't like the cars in the garage. These aren't the cars that his parents normally drive around. These are like the extra special cars. It's like the sports cars, the really fancy cars, the ones that like collectors would try and get. And like, at this point, the spoiled kid was going around to each and every single one of the cars and saying what was super special, what was super awesome, what was unique and interesting about each of the cars. And I don't know, all the kids kind of didn't care. Like, maybe there was one of the kids who was more of a car person than the other one. But for the most part, man, I mean, these kids were just trying to, like, they were just trying to play Nerf guns, dude. They were just trying to go to the pool. And this is where the spoiled kid, this is where he commits his first, like, uh-oh spaghetti-o moment. I don't know why I called, making fun of someone poor not oh spaghetti-o moment, but anyways, the spoiled kid's like, hey, guys, come with me, like, I want to check something out. So after, like, Ryan and his friends are so bored of, like, listening to him flex about his parents' cars, he's like, finally, maybe we'll go to the pool. Maybe we'll play Nerf guns. But the spoiled kid seems to be walking towards their cars parked on the side of the road. And the spoiled kid is like, I'm going to give you, like, a rating of all your cars. And Ryan is, like, starts looking to his friends because he already knows this is kind of sus, bro. This is a little weird. Yeah, so sure enough, the spoiled kid brings him down, and he's like, all right, well, look at this car over here. He says the brand, like the name or whatever. He says the year and the model, or at least what he guesses it to be. He's like, this right here, this is a real junker. This is a beater car. This car sucks. Is this like your 4th car that you just got for fun because you like crappy cars? And some kid is like, no, like that's my family's car. Bro, like, and here's the thing, right? Unfortunately, this kid's, like, in a situation where his parents are kind of strapped for cash, and they have to all share one car. So first of all, just the fact that this kid, like, his parents were, like, cool with letting him or letting his mom drive him take the only family car to spend some time at the spoiled kid's house, that's a pretty big deal, man. But for this, not just for that, even if, I don't know, even if this kid had all the cars in the world or something, just to go out of your way to make fun of someone's car because it is, like, not as fancy as yours, just to make fun of someone's socioeconomic status, is just a low blow in general, man. So yeah, sure enough, Ryan kind of turns to his friend and he's like, this isn't cool, right? His friend's like, yeah, no, this is really messed up. And they're watching as the spoiled kid doesn't take any social cues and continues to be like, well, you guys should really consider getting a newer car that sucks a little bit less. I would consider the insert name of like $40,000 car or whatever. And the kid, who we'll just call Dave, right? Dave's like, man, I don't think you get it. Like, we can't just buy whatever we want for a car. Like, this is the only car we could afford. And the spoiled kid looks at him and says, oh, well, that's unfortunate. And then the spoiled kid literally just goes on to berating the next person's car. So for the next 5 minutes, the spoiled kid walks from car to car, basically calling everyone else poor. And there was even one car that was low-key kind of nice, right? But he was like, oh, this isn't the new one. It sucks. It's like, oh, yeah, bro, you only spent $15,000 on this car. You're broke AF, bro. $15,000 on a car is crazy. But anyways, right, the spoiled kid was used to spending $1 billion per car. Yeah, I spent about $1 quintillion per car. I spend the entire GDP of Canada on this whip, and I don't even drive it that often. Whatever. Yeah, so, yeah, at this point, everyone was getting pretty annoyed. They were all kind of looking at each other. And thankfully, right, one of the moms came out and signaled that it was time to, that food was out. So they all went back inside. So Ryan kind of, tailed off with one of his friends while they got some food. And they kind of went to the corner of the room and they started talking. And Ryan's like this guy kind of sucks. Like, I knew he wasn't cool before, but, that's kind of a low blow what he did to all of us. And, yeah, and then, Ryan's friend said, yeah, especially Dave. We all know his parents are going through it right now. One of Dave's parents, got laid off recently. And they were already in a sticky situation in the first place. So for the spoiled kid to go out of his way and be like, your car sucks, it's for broke people, take this L or whatever, was just really a low blow. So after the party, because everyone eventually goes home, they never actually ended up playing Nerf guns. So, yeah, Ryan was pretty upset. Not just at the fact that they weren't able to play Nerf guns, by the way, but also the way that him and his friends were treated while at the spoiled kid's house. So yeah, anyways, they kind of make a big group chat, or Ryan... No, let me step back for a second. Ryan is in the car, and he's on his phone, and that's when he gets an invite to a big group chat on iMessage, right? And he checks all the recipients, and it's literally everyone in his class besides the spoiled kid. And basically, he receives a text message from Dave, the kid who's going through a bit of a tougher financial situation and was roasted by the spoiled kid for it. And Dave sends a big long text message saying, what the spoiled kid did to me and all of you guys today was unacceptable. This is ridiculous. The guy invites us to our house, not so that, he can host us and we can celebrate graduating the 6th grade or whatever, but instead to show off all that he has and to make fun of us for what we do not. We need to get revenge somehow. So all the other kids were putting in agreeing, they were all agreeing or whatever. And then one of the kids was like, what do you mean by revenge? And they decided that they had to somehow pull a big prank on this guy. Yeah, instead of getting adults involved or whatever, I guess all the kids were like, nah, we're handling this on our own hands. The court of justice is us. Because of course, mob justice is always the best way to go. That can never go wrong. But anyways, they come up with a plan. And the plan is really crazy. The plan is really out there. However, they decide to go with it. And it's really only a plan that a bunch of 6th graders would ever come up with and try. However, it went down pretty well. So let me tell you what the plan was, right? And cue the action movie music in the background. So anyways, the plan was that for the entire week, they're going to talk about how on the last day, right, the last day of school, the school is having, or their grade is having a very special day. Very similar to Halloween, where you dress up as a costume and come in. The very last day is Clown Day. And it's to celebrate the life, and it's a memorial for a very famous clown that used to live in their city and used to go to their school. So everyone in the grade on the last day of school is going to dress up in full clown makeup to basically commemorate his life. However, that is a complete lie. But they wanted the spoiled kid to believe it. So on the very last day of school, when everyone came in normally, just excited for the last day activities, the spoiled kid would come in a full clown suit. So for the next rest of the week, the kids would basically put up posters, whatever, and they would, like, when the spoiled kid was, like, because they, like, they went crazy, bro. These kids went crazy. They figured out everything. They mapped out this kid's classes, so, like, right before the spoiled kid got out of class, they would put up Clown Day posters on the wall, and as soon as he walked by, they would take them down. You know, he would be sitting around with them, and they would start talking about Clown Day celebrations, what they were going to wear, and after about a week of doing this, and with everybody involved, they got him convinced. So on that Friday, nobody knew if he was actually going to come in the clown outfit, because that was low-key a bit of a stretch. They're like, I don't know, like, he's definitely going to, like, either not do it because he doesn't feel like it, or maybe he's going to tell his mom and she's going to say it's BS. Like, honestly, don't even know. However, the moment of truth finally came. So they're sitting, Ryan and his friends are kind of like standing around the lockers, right before first period. So they got about like 5 minutes, and the doors open up, and the spoiled kid, he walks in full clown gear. He has the red nose. He has everything on. And yeah, they got him. They got him good. If you made it this far into the video, comment clown down below. Don't comment spoiled, comment clown. That'll be the secret word of the day. And also, if you want to support the channel, the best way you can do so is just to continue watch older videos after this one. A really easy way to do that is to watch my Storytime playlist that has all my videos. Just put it on the background while you're doing something else. The playlist is the first link in the description. Let me know in the comment section if you're going to do that down below so that I can say thank you for supporting the channel. Anyways, let's get back to it, because the spoiled kid's mom is about to do something pretty crazy. Anyways, the spoiled kid gets into school, and very quickly he realizes that he's been duped. Nobody else is in the clown outfit. All these kids are staring at him, and like immediately he goes up to one of the kids and is like, why aren't you guys in your Clown Day costumes? And they look at him, they're like, what are you talking about, bro? And he's like, wait, you guys were talking about your Clown Day outfits. You all were talking about your Clown Day outfits. And what about those posters I saw on the wall? Where are they? Like, you guys all told me that it was Clown Day, that we're going to come dressed up as clowns. And they all looked at him. And every kid he was talking to had a little bit of a smirk. And eventually, the spoiled kid put 2 and 2 together. And he was so angry. So immediately, he goes in the bathroom, takes off his clown makeup. Bro came in full clown gear, bro. He was cosplaying as himself, IRL, dude. Yeah, but anyways, he walks into the bathroom, takes off his clown makeup, but he can't call his mom because his mom's at work or whatever. So he has to go throughout the rest of the day in the big poofy clown pants and the clown shirt. Oh, man, it was a fantastic practical joke. 1 week into summer. So, you know, Ryan and his friends are just sitting around, enjoying the sun, having a good time, just having a good time on break. Most of the kids would start going off to camp or going on a trip with their parents, or, I don't know, maybe start mowing lawns or whatever. But that's not going to happen for like another week. The first couple weeks of summer, they all kind of had free, and they were all going to hang out together. So Ryan was enjoying a nice summer day. You know, he wakes up late because he went to bed late because he was on call with the boys playing some Minecraft or Fortnite or something, or Roblox. He was having a fire night. He wakes up late, excited to go downstairs, grab a thing of cereal, walk back upstairs, hop back into bed while he's eating cereal because it's breakfast in bed, because it's summer, baby. He can do what he wants. Watching some YouTube videos, maybe some Pugs videos. Subscribe if you haven't already. But no, not today. Instead, you know, he wakes up, wakes up late, excited to go downstairs to get a bowl of cereal, but instead, he is confronted by his mother, looking very angry. And the spoiled kid, Ryan is like immediately confused. It's like he hasn't done anything recently. There would be like no reason for her to be mad. So Ryan kind of looks at his mother and he's kind of like, what's up? Because it's very clear she was upset. And she's like, I got this message on Facebook today. And she turns it around, and shows it to Ryan. And Ryan is trying to read it as quickly as possible to figure out what on earth his mom is so upset about. And he sees the profile, and the profile pic is very clearly the spoiled kid's mom. And it's a long message about how her son, as well as a bunch of other kids, came together to play a mean, evil prank on her son right after they hosted like a party for them, after they very nicely offered up their house, that all these devilish children decided to embarrass her son and humiliate him in front of everyone. And their son had to go to has suffered extreme emotional distress and therefore has just been sitting inside playing video games all day. And immediately Ryan in his head, he's like, bro, he does that anyways. This kid is fibbing. But anyways, the spoiled kid's mom didn't see it like that. She goes on to say that, she demands that all the kids come together in 48 hours or less, come together, make a formal apology, and deliver it to both, her and her son at their house. And if they don't do that, she will be putting together a team of lawyers to sue each of the children individually for causing emotional damage to her son. Period. End of message. Ryan was just like, hey, yo, is this April 1st? Because I think I'm being pranked right now. And her mom, and Ryan's mom immediately starts to go into him. How could you pull a prank on this kid who seems so nice? He offered up his house to you, and this is what you do a week later. What has gotten into you? That I was good friends with that mom too, or we were beginning to be friends. She seems super nice, but she's just trying to be nice there for her son. I expect you to make this apology immediately, and until you do, no more video games. Going on and on and on. Ryan's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. You very clearly only heard one side to the story. Ryan's mom's like, all right, I'm listening, because I think she probably did believe there was probably a bit more to this than just her son decided to be evil for no good reason. And her son goes on to explain everything that happened and goes into good detail about how the spoiled kid is actually a really bad kid, and how he was berating all of them and belittling all of them, and especially going extra hard on, Dave, the kid in Ryan's class who has been going through financial issues for a while, but even so, very recently, one of his parents just got laid off. And after Ryan went through talking about everything that happened, you could see immediately that Ryan's mom's face just definitely melted a little bit. The kind of icy cold, you're gonna pay for this type look turned into a look of oh wow, there's more to, once again just kind of proving that there's always two sides to a story. And before you jump to conclusions, man, it's just a good idea to just pay it, just hear them out, right? It's always a good idea to listen. Yeah, so anyways, Ryan's mom's like, wow, well, I don't know if I necessarily endorse what you did, as it was a little crazy of you guys to do so. But I definitely don't feel I don't feel it's as necessary you guys make an apology. Then she goes on to say, well, I am a little afraid, since that family has a lot of money, that they will legitimately try and bring us to court or whatever. And that would be, unfortunate, because even if their court case doesn't go through, or it's denied or whatever, it would still cost us some money that we don't have to try and defend ourselves. And, at this point, Ryan's like, but isn't it kind of crazy she's going to sue kids? And that's when Ryan's mom thinks about it for a second and says, yeah, this is crazy. So Ryan's mom's like, wait a minute. I know that, the spoiled kid's mom is on the Parents Association of, South Park, Illinois. Let's pretend that's the city that they live in. I doubt that's actually the city that they live in, but just in case it is, then oops. But anyways, she's on the Parents League of our city. And I don't think that the president of the Parents League would be so happy to know that she's threatening to sue other kids, at that live in the town. I think that would be grounds for her to be kicked out. So immediately, right, Ryan's like, all right, well, you should go contact the other parents and make sure that they know what happened. So kind of similar to all the kids making a group chat after the spoiled kid was a jerk to them, Ryan's mom makes a group chat with all the kids' parents after the spoiled kid's mom threatened to sue their children, right? She goes on to explain the story from Ryan's perspective, just in case any of their children haven't gone around to telling them yet, and then also followed it up by saying, I don't think we should do an apology. And if you're worried about like her suing our children, I think I got a plan. So all the parents reply saying, yeah, like this is ridiculous. I've never heard of suing children for being a little mean or playing a prank on someone before. And some of the dads were chiming in, yeah, I used to do that all the time of the day, or all the time back in the day or whatever. And they're like, okay, well, what's your plan to like basically get her to not sue us? Because I'm not trying to go through that headache, especially over the summer. So Ryan's mom explains that, they're all going to come together and they're going to tell, the spoiled kid's mom, no, we're not going to do it. And then they're going to tell her that, she better not, she better not like try and sue any of their children. First of all, that's ridiculous. But second of all, if she does decide to make the mistake and decide to sue some of their children, that, Ryan's mom or the moms collectively may or may not accidentally send a private message to the head of the Parents Association of the town that they live in with a screenshot showing her threatening to sue their children. And so they come together, they send the message, and sure enough, the spoiled kid's mom backs down. She is like screaming at them in the DMs, like, you caused my son emotional damage, whatever, yada, yada, yada. It is totally fine for me to sue. Like, I can use the legal system to enforce the laws and make sure that this is a good, like, civilization or whatever. However, she did say that she was not, she said, because you guys are blackmailing me, I will drop the legal charges or whatever. Which, that's kind of crazy that, they're blackmailing her. I mean, maybe. No, barely, dude. She's threatening to sue their children. All they're saying is that they would just let the head of the Parents Association know about her trying to sue their children, bro. Oh, that's all I'm saying. So yeah, after that point on, Ryan had a pretty great summer. And the next year around, the spoiled kid did not attend their elementary school. He, in fact, or their middle school, I guess. He was moved to a private school that was like 30 minutes away. And who knows why? Maybe because he alienated himself from everyone there because he was a massive jerk. Moral of the story, don't
Click
be
on
a
the
jerk,
video on
guys.
screen right
Bye.
now. I know you'll enjoy it. Just click it. Do it.